You're watching the House Gotham Classic. And this is the ACC on ESPN. We're just off the Ohio River. The Bryant Bulldogs visit the KFC Yum Center today to take on the Louisville Cardinals. With Dino Gaudio, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald. So the House Gotham Classic continues. This is our 5th on-campus game before the showcase matchup. That is Saturday in Madison Square Garden in New York, and it's a matchup that features this Louisville team and Memphis, old Metro Conference rivals. You see Bryant looking to pick up a victory in this series. Louisville looking to win its second. Well, whether it's a Gotham Classic game or a good old rivalry game against Indiana like a couple days ago, Anis Mahmoud, the senior, has been spectacular. He's a menace in the paint.
Well, Louisville second in the nation in block shots and 12th in the nation in field goal percentage defense. This guy right here is a big reason why. Blocking nearly 4 shots a game. He changes countless others. And as we're seeing, he scores and rebounds the ball as well, Kevin.
How about 30 blocks this year for Mahmoud? And here we go. Louisville wins the opening tip. They're in the white, and the Bryant Bulldogs in the black, visiting from Smithfield, Rhode Island. First matchup between these two ever. A leading scorer, Deng Adele. But first, Anis Mahmoud. Nice pass inside, of the Cardinals are on the board.
Well, if you're Louisville, you want to come out and try to score the ball, establish yourself inside, and they did on that possession.
For Bryant, if they want to stay competitive, who are you looking at in this starting lineup to play big?
Well, I think when you're playing against size like they are, Towns has to play well for them. Sebastian Towns, 54. In the Northeastern Conference, he's a really good low-post player. But now at 6'5", playing in the ACC, boy, he's going to have to play bigger than that.
Playing inside the KFC Yum Center, the first time ever these two teams have matched up.
Now, you're seeing Louisville on defense switching all ball screen action.
Well, Ray Spalding with a hand in the face, but a good hit. This guy can get going. Boshko Koster, the redshirt senior. Just 2 days ago, Louisville coming off the victory against Indiana. Inside to Ray Spalding. Going to stay here.
And a big thing for Bryant to stay in this game, Kevin, they have to limit Louisville to 1 shot. In other words, when that ball goes up, you better make sure you box out.
This is Quentin Snyder, and he answers the 3 right back on this side.
Now, that's a good sign because he has not been shooting the ball well from behind the 3-point line. Only 24% coming in. And this is the guy last year, he shot 48% from threes in ACC games.
Well, David Padgett and the Louisville coaches were telling you that, yeah, he's a better shooter than his numbers look. Carroll on this side for Bryant.
Well, Carroll is the one guy for Bryant. When you look at him, his athleticism, he could play in the ACC or the SEC or wherever else he wanted to. Terrific athlete. Terrific athlete.
Yeah, he looks like a high major player. David Padgett, he was named the interim head coach on September 29th. That was just a couple days after the FBI investigation became public into college basketball. We were talking to Padgett today. Very even keel throughout this situation the last couple months.
Really, and I think he's done a terrific job with this basketball team. Kevin, he practiced 10 days, almost 2 weeks. He was by himself. He never even had a staff. And you see on his left, all right, Trent Johnson, a terrific former head coach at Stanford and Nevada and LSU, TCU. And Greg Paulus right there on the right, the former Duke guard, was at Ohio State. So he put a great staff together as well. I was kidding Paulus, like I was 10 feet away from him. I go, Greg, are you going to take a charge?
There's Mahmoud. No chance to take a charge there. 2 quick buckets for the 7-foot senior from Egypt.
Yeah, when he was at Duke, that's all he did. He started falling down when he got to the top of the key. Especially in Cameron, they got those calls. Now you're seeing Louisville really extending and pressuring Bryant, creating offense off of their defense.
Well, the Bulldogs haven't been pressured like this either yet this year.
Not by this size and this quickness, Kevin.
You spotlighted Carroll. There he is, off the dribble. Shot affected. Spalding got a piece of it. That's one of what could be many blocks today. Good pass.
Good pass and a great catch.
Ikeda and Naduba. Hands off to Towns. The rebound to Mahmoud. Going up to Spalding. There to follow VJ King. Timeout taken by Tim O'Shea.
The pace is way too fast for Bryant. Like, if they have opportunities down here on the break, let's go ahead and take them. If not, let's run good offense. Now this guy right here out in transition, boy, you can't have those open court turnovers if you're Bryant.
Tim O'Shea now 10 years as the head coach at Bryant. He's got a big test today. His team pretty youthful. That one win this year against Hartford, but hey, he's from New England. This is home for him. He's trying to build. It
really is, and he did a great job at Ohio University. 120 and 95, his record there in the MAC, and his last year he goes 20 and 13. Kevin, in 05, he took OU to the NCAA tournament where they had a close game with Florida. Really good basketball coach. Spent many years with Al Skinner at Rhode Island and BC.
How many coaches want that job? Ohio, that is a very good job in the MAC.
It really is, and he's one of the guys that helped make it that way.
Good pass inside to Towns, and boy, he floated that over Spalding. Sebastian Towns, the sophomore from Virginia.
And we're seeing Bryant go zone right here.
Defensively, what else do you expect from this team?
Well, I think they got to change up defenses, especially against a much bigger, much more athletic Louisville team.
This is Snyder, hit 1-3. Good, strong rebound down to Coster. Another shot inside, and the pass from Naduba back down to Towns. 2 buckets in the paint.
And you know what? You're seeing Towns' girth. He just bumped Mahmoud right off there. Like a lot of guys in the post, they avoid contact. Boy, he initiated it, and that created space for the shot.
Now, Towns is only 6'5" or so, but like you said, a wide frame. And there's a whistle on the entry pass to Spalding. That's going to be the second on Towns, and that's a tough break. Back-to-back buckets for him.
It is a tough break. He was playing well offensively, and now all of a sudden, he's got to go to the bench with 2.
By the way, great officiating crew. Jamie Lucky, Pat Adams, Don Daly as well today.
Well, how about this crew? We got Jamie Lucky, 3 Final Fours. Pat Adams, 4 Final Fours. There's Pat Adams. There's Don Daly right there. And Don Daly, 2 Elite Eights, 10 NCAA tournaments. Great officials in the ACC. I wouldn't say that when I was coaching because Jamie used to get on my nerves a lot.
Can we clip that and send that to these officials?
He would stiff arm me. It'd be like 5 seconds into the game. He'd say, Dino, I had enough from you.
Look at Adele is open. Strong rebound down to Carroll.
You got to make sure when you see zone that you're not settling for jump shots. Louisville got to say Bryant is not in charge of our shot selection.
Naduba. Now Bryant may have to hit a bunch of threes. They will connect on maybe 8 or 9 per game, but can they do it efficiently? Louisville stretches the floor. King the 3.
Boy, he started off the season slow because his shot selection wasn't great. He's scoring it better now because he's taking better shots.
Chaos right at midcourt. Snyder has Adele. Push, and that's a foul on Naduba.
Well, a good sign for Bryant is if they can score the basketball inside. Pick and roll, that's a wonderful delivery. And I love this next one here. Towns, the little floater over the top. Nice finish, big fella.
Insurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world. And Burger King Big Taste, smaller package. The Bacon King Jr. is available now at Burger King restaurants.
Monday night on Main Street inside the KFC Yum Center. Dino Gaudio with Kevin Fitzgerald. Now Louisville out to an early lead, getting into the paint. But a third tip right around the rim, and the rebound down to Coster.
Yeah,
pace-wise, what do you think tonight?
Yeah, I think the pace is a little too fast for Bryant right now. And you control pace, Kevin, with your offense. You know, more passes on offense, go deeper into the shot clock. I'll tell you what I'm impressed with Bryant is when Towns was in there, they were scoring the ball at the basket against one of the best shot blocking teams in the country.
And how about Naduba just went into the paint, draws a foul on Ray Spalding.
He has really asserted himself. He is a scoring point guard. 7 straight games, double figures. A real plus for Tim O'Shea.
And there you go, the last 8 in double figures. Mahmoud back into the game for Louisville. And, Dino, he has to be for Bryant out of the Northeast Conference. Remember, Adam Grant, their leading scorer, he is out. 2nd straight game he's missed with an injury.
Well, you're looking at a guy, Adam Grant, that's not out there for Bryant. 16 points a game. I'll tell you, when you're at the lower mid-major level, when you lose one guy, boy, that's tough to overcome.
In the corner, Darius Perry. A whistle on the rebound. Tim O'Shea not happy with the whistle.
You know what? If I'm Tim, I'm loving those fouls. Like, and not happy with the call, but I want my guys sticking their nose in there and boxing out.
It was Coster, plays physical. That's his first foul. So shot clock resets. Louisville works it around. Coming off that win against Indiana.
And you're seeing and you're seeing Louisville go inside here, which they should do against the smaller Bryant team when they're in their 2-3 zone. Kev, when you see zone, you should think 5 things. Number 1, we're going to beat it down the floor. And then once we're in the half court, we want to go screen the zone, attack gaps, go short corner, high post, and then the 5th and final thing is offensive rebound.
And it's tough when you face a team like Louisville. Ray Spalding, Anas Mahmoud, right around 7 feet. Dangadeli plays like he's 7'2".
He really does. And Anas Mahmoud is a guy that was 6'1". This guy right here, the 7-footer, 6'1" in high school. So he moves like a guard. And I like what Tim O'Shea's doing, rolling the dice a little bit, putting Sebastian Towns back into the game.
2 fouls. Coster picking up his 2nd on the bench.
Boy, Darius Perry, really a nice job on the ball pressuring.
The freshman, precocious on the defensive side. And Bryant got caught underneath. That's going to stay here.
Boy, this kid right here, number 2, man, can he put pressure on the basketball. Very quick, very athletic. He's a good shooter on offense. The numbers don't reflect that early in the season. But, man, he is into the basketball, heating it up. I would say, guys, he's on him so close. He's inhaling, the other guy's exhaling. That's how close they are.
Perry running the point. Quentin Snyder on the bench. Over on the other side of the floor, in white, number 30, Ryan McMahon, his 2nd game back from an injury. Mahmoud spinning at the rim.
Like we talked about, he's 7 foot, but he moves like a guard.
How about the night he had against Indiana a couple days ago? Ooh. 1 block away from a triple-double.
He does so many things well, Kevin.
Ryan Lehman loses it. Running the floor again. Oh, it's off the rim. Dwayne Sutton. Here comes Bryant. One of those top qualities that he does so well. Going back to Mahmoud. Can contest shots, I bet, right there.
Yeah. And you can't even count how many shots he changes. Well, watch this spin right here. Terrific footwork. Looks over the right shoulder. Boom, spin dribble. Great move. Finishing with the left hand. Using the glass. And how about Brandon Carroll? 2 games ago, makes his first career start, gets 15, and this kid is a terrific, terrific athlete. Frankie Dobbs was recruiting him, and he went to Iona Prep, didn't even play much there. And Frankie tells Tim O'Shea, I'm telling you, coach, this kid could play. And later, we're going to show you a little tape here. I'll tell you what, the dunk he had, Frankie Dobbs tells Tim O'Shea, you got to see this. Coach looked at it, goes, I think we're going to recruit him.
Yeah, up until then, they said maybe a year of prep school. Not after that video.
Not after that one.
Hey, Bryant is within 4. This is McMahon, a really good shooter. Tipped around strong board, and Carroll another. He has a handful early on. That's his 3rd. Gus Riley into the game, tries to set the screen for Naduba. Pass just a little too strong and into Wara's hands. Weaving down the floor. Nice touch, Mahmoud again.
That's a wonderful drop-off pass from Jordan Nawa.
McHugh fouled. And Perry that time, he was right back in his face, a little aggressive.
That's what he does well. That's what you want from him. Boy, he could really heat up the ball. Pressure defense always starts on pressure on the point guard. Man, he can deliver.
There's Coster back in with 2 fouls for Bryant. And look at the last 2 games for Louisville. Wins against Indiana and Siena. You can point to the defense after Seton Hall scored the ball against them pretty good.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And we know that they have resistance at the rim. And when you got shot blocking at the rim, Kevin, you can extend and pressure, because if you get beat, you got guys blocking shots at the basket.
Only Michigan State blocks more shots than Louisville. And there's another one that's altered. It was Mahmoud and then Malik Williams down low as well.
Now, Malik Williams is a guy that came off the bench against Indiana, and Louisville's down 10 and makes 3 huge threes in the first half.
There's McMahon.
I love the kid out of Sarasota, Florida. Just a real knack for knowing how to play the game.
He's not quite as tall as Mahmoud or Spalding, but he trickles down into that paint for the bucket. There's Towns again, trying to go to work. Couple times he has spun around Mahmoud, now with 6.
And you love how he used the rim to protect the shot. Not a good shot right there from Perry.
Chance for Bryant to get it back within 3 or 4, approaching the halfway mark of the first. McHugh. Kick ball.
Well, when you're playing Louisville, you know your transition defense has to be good. Turnover, the run out. Watch Mahmoud, the big guy, running the floor. Yeah, reward that guy. And he delivers.
It's back. Top 20 matchup on Sunday, 3 p.m. It's North Carolina and Tennessee on ESPN. And that's presented by Zales. So Tennessee advances further. North Carolina as well. This is a top 20 matchup coming up next Sunday.
It really is. Rick Barnes has done a marvelous job with the Volunteers. And how about the coming out party Luke May has had? 2nd in the ACC in rebounding, 3rd in scoring from Luke May. The guy that hit the 2nd biggest shot in the history of Carolina basketball. Behind that one Jordan hit in '82.
That is number 2, correct. You saw Luke May opening night.
I had him, and he was just terrific. He's playing with such confidence.
Right. Well, Taylor McHugh as well. Couldn't get that one to go. He's the junior for Bryant. How about Quentin Snyder's speed burst at the rim?
Yeah, you got to try to stop him a little higher defensively, like at the 3-point line. You can't allow him to get that deep.
Cardinals have been pressuring now for 10 minutes in the backcourt.
Little flex action here by Bryant.
Boschko, Coster, if he gets going, look out.
He's one of those traditional Euro guys that could step out and shoot threes from the 4 spot.
Yeah, from Croatia, grew up in Australia. Well, McMahon with a good stroke, but he's 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. Just his 2nd game back, broke a rib in October.
Yeah, one of his own teammates accidentally hit him, and those are really painful injuries.
It was Anas Mahmoud. He ran into his 7-foot teammate. Jordan Wara, that's way off that time. Rebound to McHugh. And he didn't run into his elbow. Remember, he's 7 foot. He ran into Mahmoud's hip. That's what did it. Louisville 8-point lead. Bryant has done a nice job sustaining the pressure in the backcourt.
And you see how Louisville is switching all of those ball screens.
Towns, he's looking for a shot. Now he flashes the fadeaway.
I'll tell you what, the old guy, I should say, from Chesapeake, Virginia. Norfolk Collegiate. Man.
And the offensive foul.
Doing a little bit of everything right here, Sebastian Towns. I didn't think he had this in his repertoire, the little fade away from about 8 or 10 feet. You can see in the Northeast Conference how good a player inside Sebastian Towns is. And giving up his body for his teammates. Got to be careful now. Remember, 2 fouls. Well, I tell you, if he was 6'8" or something, high major player.
He's only 6'5". He plays like he's 6'8".
He really is, playing against this front line of Louisville.
Cardinals 2 losses to Seton Hall and to Purdue. And that 1 loss to Purdue on the road, sitting at 6-2. Naduba, no. There goes Snyder again. He's got Adele in the corner. Up top. Well, even the size at the top of the key, Malik Williams. Whistle and a foul a long way from the basket. That goes against Ryan McMahon.
I'll tell you, Louisville on defense, switching. Now watch when these screens come. They switch that back screen. Now watch this ball screen right here. Again, a switch. So you can do 1 of 2 things, Kevin. You can either drive the big man when he switches on you or post the smaller guard.
How about the drive there from Naduba, and that warrants a David Padgett timeout. Bryant within 4. 8:29 in the first. The Bulldogs hanging tough.
4-year starter at Villanova for Raleigh Massimino, and then mom was a track and field athlete at Florida State. Now there's Frankie, the son, played at Bryant, was with Tim O'Shea at OU and transferred in, and then their sister played at American, a physician's assistant in Cleveland, Ohio right now. Talk about athletic family. There's Frankie. Terrific player here at Bryant, and the gentleman on the far right with the glasses. Man, I'm going to tell you something, Kevin. Happy Dobbs could really play. 2 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite 8s, drafted by the 76ers in the 1984 draft. He's a little mad, though. He went to 2 Elite 8s, 2 Sweet 16s, but the next year, what's Villanova do? They win a national championship. There he is.
I think that was strategic, by the way. Mike Allen has to sit between the two. You know, Frankie's a Patriots fan. They play tonight. Happy's the Steelers fan.
Yes.
How do they get along in the household? Snyder working the baseline. Buries in, and he's hit. That's a whistle, so free throws coming for Louisville.
I like it because the Bryant zone has been very good. Louisville only 2 for 9 from 3, so just don't settle for jump shots. Attack the zone, and that's what Quentin Snyder did right there.
He's the senior from right here. Went to Ballard High School in Louisville. We ask, what's his strength? And it's a pretty unanimous answer. It's just his even-keeled nature on the floor. He's a point guard you want out there.
No question. And as a point guard, last year was second in the ACC in assist-to-turnover ratio. Almost 3 to 1. It was 22nd in the NCAA. So this is a guy you give the ball to. He's going to take care of it for you. And get off to a slow start from behind the 3-point line this year. But like I said, last year, 48% in ACC games from the 3-point line.
And he's coming up on 1,000 points, too, in his career.
We won't see him tonight. I think he's 130. If he gets him tonight, then we got a heck of a story. But he'll get there. He's a terrific player.
Mr. Chamberlain, paging you. There's Towns. He's posted up again. He wanted it. So 8 to shoot. Boy, Towns has been a monster down low to start. From way outside, Naduba. 2-point game. Excellent ball movement as usual. Snyder's going to have to go now. Padgett just reminded him, 12 on the shot clock. Good tip pass. Mahmoud with another basket, now with 11.
And you know what I loved about that? They went short corner and then went low-high with the dump down. That's terrific zone offense.
Bryant breaks the press. Within 4, Towns. That shot blocked. Mahmoud gets a piece of it. Spalding had one earlier, now the 7-footer. Six to shoot. Hit a fadeaway on the baseline previously. Finds the roll.
Boy, I am really impressed with Sebastian Towns. We're seeing the diversity of his game. He scores at the rim, the fadeaway on the baseline, and then right there from the 17-foot mark.
He has 10. He scores about 11 a game. That's it. Mahmoud's second chance, no. Coster had it. Ricochets out of bounds.
Well, when you're attacking zones, we talked about it in the half court. One way is to go short corner. The big man, Towns, has to cover that, and they go low-high. Low on the baseline to that little dump down pass.
Those two spent a lot of time on the baseline together. That was Spalding to Mahmoud. Good look. In general, though, Bryant's defense, zone-wise, you like it so far.
I really do, and I think Tim O'Shea has to be really happy with it. But those guards got to run down those long rebounds.
Bryant, just the one win. It was against Hartford. Haven't faced size like this. Mahmoud again. This is his 6th game at double figures this season. 13 in the first half.
Well, when we showed the other possession, they went short corner, and on that time they initiated into the high post. So that's really good zone offense by David Padgett's Louisville Cardinals.
Little energy in the seats at the KFC Yum Center now. Carroll, nice stick from 15.
I love the elevation on his shot. He gets up so high, it's difficult to contest it.
Look at number 2 in the black. He's a high major player, perhaps. It just fell through the cracks.
He really is. I think this young guy physically looks like an ACC player. Now, they're recruiting him, and Tim O'Shea goes, I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, when you watch how high he gets and the high release on his shot, it negates the contest.
Well, John going on up the court as well for Carroll, trying to keep his team in it. Carroll to the bench, just the redshirt freshman. Talk about the body size. He's a former football player, too, in high school.
I'll tell you, what a nice performance thus far, the first 15 minutes, because remember, Bryant, without their leading scorer, Adam Grant, the sophomore out of Franklin, Virginia, getting 16 points a game. Twisted his ankle.
It's an all-conference selection from a year ago that Naduba and company don't have to use. Coster usually takes that. He's got Adele moving up in the air. Towns again.
Just has a knack for scoring the ball around the rim. Well, you could see in the Northeast Conference how good that kid would be as a post player. He's pretty good tonight.
Adele from a step inside, down and out. It is tough to box him out. 15 for Mahmoud.
I love how Mahmoud, when he gets that offensive rebound, Kevin, he doesn't bring it down. He keeps it up there high.
Look where he's catching the basketball, too. That's why he's 7 of 8 from the field. That is a 10-second violation, and the pressure forces the turnover. Tim O'Shea was trying to call timeout, but it's the 5th turnover.
Yeah, well, that's the rule now. When the ball's in play, coaches can't call timeout. The players have to do it. Just have to have a feel when you're out there.
He's letting them know. Call the timeout right there. So a 3-point game late in the first.
What a great job Tim O'Shea has done with this Bryant program.
King, no. Another follow. Look at where he is catching the offensive rebound.
Well, he's right in the restricted area arc. You got to put your tail in there. Like when that shot goes up, you got to create the car crash on the box out. If I'm Tim O'Shea, I'm telling my guys at halftime, fellas, I'll take a foul in there, drive him the heck out of there.
Look at the time. 4:08 left in the first. Mahmoud already at his career high, 17. Coster looking for that answer. Adele plus the foul, and he's at the line.
Well, that's where Dang Adele at his best. He's an open court player. He could score in transition. Boy, a little inside out move. Can he finish? You bet.
Order today with a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. And Aleve Direct Therapy. Get drug-free, deep penetrating, lower back pain relief.
We're a half a mile away from the Louisville Slugger Museum. You need about a week to get up and down Main Street in Louisville. There is so much to do. You may call him the former ACC coach. I call him the former Buckeye South second baseman. Dino Gaudio is here with me, Kevin Fitzgerald, with you. Cleanup hitter, right?
No, I could field. Man, I couldn't hit my way out of a wet paper bag, I tell you.
I've heard Giancarlo Stanton comparisons. I remember those from back in the day.
Yeah, right.
That's a turnover. I tell you what, Bryant gave up a bucket just before the break and a turnover there. We're within 2 a few moments ago out of the NEC on the road in Louisville.
And here's how they've done it. They've done it with their 2-3 zone.
Eliminating that up until this point, right?
Yeah, they've done it with their 2-3 zone. They've really limited Louisville's three-point shooting, only 2 for 10. And despite the pressure, they're handling the ball pretty well, Kevin. Only 5 turnovers thus far.
Well, and most of those were in the first few minutes. And they've slowed down a bit, haven't they?
If they could box out, they'd be fine. Not turnovers like that.
Good active hands from Spalding, and he jams it in. Elevation, Louisville up 12. Oh.
Those live ball turnovers that run out, those are the ones that kill you, especially against an athletic team like Louisville.
Oh my goodness, he starts the break with the deflection.
Well, that's what Ray Spalding is. He is a deflection machine. The deflection is still the run out. Boy, tough to defend that.
His head was underneath the backboard when he nabbed that one with his paw.
Well, Ray Spalding, 7'6" wingspan. He gets his hands on everything. He had 15 deflections when they played Siena.
Ray Spalding has got pretty good length. Kristaps Porzingis has also got that similar size. He and the Knicks against the Lakers Tuesday night NBA special on ESPN. That's at 7 Eastern. And Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, the 76ers taking on the Timberwolves at 9:30. That's Tuesday. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app.
Check out that Sixers-Wolves game. My guy, Jeff Teague, used to be my point guard playing for Coach Thibodeau.
Adele is left wide open. And this is how Louisville can start to pull away. Up 13, largest lead of the game, 2:30 left.
Well, David Padgett is happy with the shot. Why? It was off of dribble penetration. It collapsed the defense, and then the kick out.
14-2 run. David Padgett was explaining that to you. It's his first season interim head coach at Louisville. The former captain. Starts to games, we've been a little sluggish, but boy, they have turned it into another gear the last few minutes.
They really have. And I talked to David at ACC Media Day, and you know what, Kevin, I said to him, I sort of went through a similar situation when I took over at Wake Forest. Coach Prosser, my dear friend, had passed away, and obviously Rick Pitino had left. So I told David, I go, David, you got to show respect to your predecessor, but you got to make the team your own. You know, you got to, it's your team now. You got to run what you want to run and how you want to do things. He's made a terrific transition. He
played for Coach Pitino. How do you do that?
Well, you know, to the kids, you got to say, hey, what Coach did, and Coach Pitino brought you here, but listen, now I'm in this position, and this is how we're going to do things. And David plays for Rick, too, so he knows how those guys feel. But
Dang, Adele started to heat up another 3.
Exactly, and that's a guy that can heat up, but it's his team now. He's got to make it in his image.
There's Padgett.
You see Louisville switching that ball screen.
Hunter Ware's first shot, no. On the floor, good effort by Dwayne Sutton. King underneath. Snyder, it's a long 2.
Boy, they play in spurts. They can score in bunches.
Timeout, Bryant. Big run for the Cardinals. Up 16. All right, Saturday on ABC, 2 college football bowl games, and this one is really special. First, it's Grambling and North Carolina A&T. This is the 3rd annual Celebration Bowl, pitting the champions of the SWAC and the MEAC. Both have won 11 straight. At 3:30, number 25, Boise State, appearing in its 16th straight bowl, taking on the Oregon Ducks, and that's the first game for now interim head coach Mario Cristobal, taking over for Willie Taggart. He's down in Tallahassee now.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't get much better than bowl season, ain't it? Football, basketball, NBA. Boy, Louisville making all the hustle plays right now, getting on the floor, getting the 50-50 balls, and that's how they've made some separation from Bryant.
Louisville has forced 9 Bryant turnovers. They have given it away just once. Maybe this is number 8, a whistle.
That's a good call by Pat Adams. I think that's on Quinn Snyder.
Yep, that's his first. Quentin Snyder was, boy, all effort, exactly what you just laid out.
Playing with a lot more energy and emotion. This Louisville team, they have it in their DNA. I thought beginning of the year, before Coach Pitino was let go, that this was a Final Four basketball team. And they show spurts of that.
David Padgett's team ranked inside the AP top 25 to start. In fact, inside the top 20. Now, those back-to-back losses to Purdue and Seton Hall bumped them out, but they're right there on the cusp.
And a couple of the problems that they've had is they've had untimely turnovers, and we're not seeing this tonight, but they've struggled at times on the backboard. They've been terrific on the offensive glass tonight. But toughest team usually always wins, Kevin. And Purdue was a tougher team that night.
It was on the road. Another lob. Ray Spalding. Good find from McMahon.
Naduba, really nice point guard. Like Naduba, doing a pretty good job against that pressure tonight.
A sophomore from Boston. He's looking to give it up to somebody. How about the excellent man-to-man pressure for Louisville, that sequence. Into the paint. Little short. B.J. King is running the floor. Dangadell has it stripped out.
Well, one of the things that McMahon does on the floor, boy, he has an eye. Little dribble handoff. He goes right back to Ray Spalding. Terrific court vision from Ryan McMahon.
So, Dino, Louisville, 8 of its last 8 from the field.
Why? A lot of those right near the rim.
Yep.
That's where they're getting those shots.
That's a foul. It goes against Louisville on the offensive side. And that is B.J. King's second, the sophomore.
You know, when you're at a situation where Tim O'Shea is at Bryant, tough going through the season where you're playing 4 and 5 bye games, which means you come into arena. Now, I'm not sure what the amount is, but they come and play Louisville at the Yum Center, and probably Louisville plays them anywhere between $75,000, $85,000, $90,000 to come in here and play. And that means Louisville doesn't have to return the game. They don't have to go back and play at Bryant.
Another turnover with just under 22 seconds left. Bryant probably needed one more basket before the half to get a little closer.
Well, Brandon Carroll, just slow down a little bit. We're going to get the last shot of the half. We don't need to play that fast.
Here's Carroll.
Now, Louisville wants to take this shot with maybe 5 on the game clock. Shot clock is off where, as we've seen, they miss it. You got a chance for a second and third opportunity with an offensive rebound or rebounds.
7 offensive boards this half for Louisville. Perry looking. 2 to shoot. Gang on the drive. Down the lane. Lost it. 20 minutes in the books. Bryant was within one possession. They go into the half, though, down 16. Louisville spreading it around. Spalding flying high. Led by Mahmoud. He has 17. You're watching the House Gotham Classic. Today from the KFC Yum Center, Bryant visiting Louisville. The Cardinals with a 16-point lead. They were pressed, Dino Gaudio, by that guy, Sebastian Towns. The first 10 minutes or so, he was really effective inside for the Bulldogs.
And here's the amazing thing. Coming off a hamstring injury 2 weeks before the season, this big fella had an appendectomy. No ill effects of that thing because ball screening, rolling. What a diverse offensive game. Could post up. We're seeing him use the rim as a protector right there. Has a little mid-range game to fade away. Boy, what a good player he is and going to be in that conference. And then Mahmoud, cool, scoring at the rim. We're talking about a guy right now, 8 for 9 from the field, 7 total rebounds. Boy, the big fella from Louisville really playing well this evening. I love how he played through contact right there, because that's one thing that Anas Mahmoud has to do a little better of.
So Louisville shoots 58% from the field. Look at the points in the paint. Anas Mahmoud, I don't think he's ventured further than, what, 5 feet from the basket when he's catching it.
He doesn't have to. Play to your strength, and he's doing that. He's scoring at the rim, and you know what else, Kevin? Second shot opportunities for him. The easiest shot in basketball is the second shot, the putback. He's had several of those in the first half as well.
So here is how we have arrived at this point. Louisville led by just 1. It was 31-30. Late in the first, they go on a 20-5 run to close the half.
All keyed off of their defense.
Yeah.
They forced some turnovers, got some deflections, and scored in transition.
I think Tim O'Shea said to this group in the locker room, they're trying to come out with a little fire. It's the Duba inside. Another shot affected by Mahmoud. Another block. And the follow from Brandon Carroll.
Really good effort area from Bryant on the offensive glass. Mahmoud helped on the drive, then he recovered quickly to block that shot.
There's the length of the 7-footer from Egypt in his senior year. He's sitting in the paint. This is Adele. They don't have to deal with Mahmoud. It's Spalding as well, but his shot misfires.
Well, you knew David Padgett says, hey, when we see zone, we're going in early inside with that first possession.
A whistle. Carroll rising towards the rim. And that is the second foul on Ray Spalding. He's the junior, also from Louisville. Cardinals bounced back with a victory against Indiana 2 days ago. Had lost 2 straight to Seton Hall. And then Purdue on the road.
2 really good basketball teams.
This is a busy week for the Cardinals. Playing 3 times in a 6-day span. Snyder rebounds Towns' miss. And a heck of an effort coming flying towards us. Taylor McHugh. That was all hustle right there.
That's the first charge I've taken ever. Ever. Now, at least I got
you
one
did
charge.
It gracefully as well.
Yeah, I averaged, I think, 10 points a game and 1 assist for my career.
Taylor McHugh is coming for our headsets over on the scorers table. There's a turnover. Carroll. That shot goes down. Floating it behind him.
How did that one go in? Sometimes better to be lucky and good. He was on that shot.
Snyder can get it going from beyond the arc. This is McHugh. Out to Naduba. No. Louisville, as usual, has been in transition almost the entirety of this game. Another 3 for Snyder.
You got to rotate out when you're in that zone. You got to do a better job. And Tim O'Shea's telling his guys of contesting shots. The most important thing you could do on defense is contest shots. I don't care if you're man, zone, whatever it is.
Snyder's hit 3 triples, and yeah, they've been open. Mahmoud with the rebound, now with 8. He is sitting on 17 points as well, a career high. Quick pass to Adele. Muscles his way up for a basket. Largest lead for Louisville.
You know what? I love the shot fake right there, but go by him, Coster. Shot fake and go by. Contest. That's a good contest. That's a good shot. That was pretty good defense, better offense.
After that one, timeout Bryant. Quentin Snyder. Dino, even if he's got a hand in his face, you leave him open, he's going to hit it. Even when you contest.
Cardinals will travel to New York City to battle former.
If you visit the KFC Yum Center frequently, you know Gerald, the super fan that sits courtside. Louisville up big, largest lead, 23. Dino Gaudio is here. I'm Kevin Fitzgerald. That's a shame. Actually, that was the Christmas present I got for you, those Louisville glasses.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to wear them the next time I'm in here, which is next week. I have Albany in here at the Yum Center. And boy, has Quentin Snyder been good. 6 for 7 from the field, and especially important, 4 for 5 from behind the three-point line.
I think he deserves those three-point glasses that Gerald is wearing. That's a smart timeout from Naduba, had nowhere to go, and Louisville continues to ratchet up the intensity.
When you're trapping, and we trapped early when we were at Wake Forest, is don't let the dribbler get to your body. Just keep corralling him, and Louisville did a magnificent job of that.
Pressure in the backcourt all day.
Now watch. Yeah, Snyder gets the angle back. Pretty good move right there.
Quentin Snyder, of course, having a productive day shooting. He has 17. By the way, that is a season high. This coaching staff praises his defensive effort, so even-keeled. And he can coordinate if there is some sort of a game plan change on the fly. He is that voice, the coach, directing his teammates on the floor.
Now, normally there'd be 4 to cross the timeline because we got 24 on the shot clock, but because they called timeout, they get a fresh 10.
Holiday Hoops is back. Coming up on Sunday afternoon on ESPN, Roy Williams and number 17 UNC back in Knoxville to take on Rick Barnes' now number 20 ranked Tennessee Vols. 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a tougher duo.
Yeah.
Underneath, you know who's calling that game next week, or who will be officiating? Pat Adams is there next week.
Well, we got a great official in Pat Adams, just crossing the midcourt line right there near the bottom of the screen. 4 Final Fours he's done.
Gotta think that's a physical game that he's going to see next Sunday. You can watch it as well. 3 p.m. Eastern. That's on ESPN.
I love the name Admiral Schofield. That's one of the great names in college basketball.
His dad was a general, served our country.
Yep. Now, the last thing that Bosco Kostler needs is to get a technical with a mouth mistake. Like, if you're talking to the officials, then you can't play. So just get your head right back into what we're doing defensively.
Bryant was within 1 with 5 minutes left of the first. Did a good job of defending Mahmoud at times. There's Towns. Just a strong reach, and the rebound to Brandon Carroll.
Yeah, I think Mahmoud rushed that shot a little bit. Just take your time. You have a size advantage. Elevate and just shoot over him. They do a really nice job of switching all that, Louisville.
McHugh banks it in with 3 seconds on the shot clock.
I'll take that if I'm McHugh.
Adele answers with a strong drive.
Yeah, when Adele saw that he had Towns on him, I like what he did. He just went right by him. A quickness advantage, a length advantage, took it right to the rim, used the backboard as a cushion. David Dow I'm sorry, Kevin, has been up and down, but when he's good, he is terrific. He spurs Louisville on. Up 20 right now, the Cardinals.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Burger King Big Taste. Smaller package. The Bacon King Jr. is available now at Burger King restaurants.
Just off the Ohio River, we are inside the KFC Yum Center. David Padgett's team with a big lead, 22-point advantage over Bryant, the interim head coach.
He's done a really good job with this basketball team, and hopefully he takes them into the tournament, makes a deep run, and can get the head job here. But you know what, Kevin? If not, his situation reminds me a lot of when Andy Kennedy took over for Coach Huggins at UC. Won 20-some games, and, you know, they just wanted to take away from the Huggins staff, and hopefully they won't do this at Louisville. They give David the job. But what Andy Kennedy did, made a name for himself in the circles, and that got him the Ole Miss job. And you know what? Andy Kennedy, now the winningest coach in the history of Ole Miss basketball, took a situation over like David is doing here and propelled him to a head job. Hopefully it's at Louisville, but he'll make a name for himself this season either way.
You mentioned hopefully a deep run. You said a few moments back, before what happened in September, even still, this was a team that had Final Four caliber players like Ray Spalding.
I really think so. I think this was a Final Four type of team. Now, you know, lost a recruit with the situation that occurred, but a really talented basketball team.
On the pull-up, Hunter Ware, rebound down to Mahmoud. And yeah, it was late November when University came out and said Brian Bowen would not play for Louisville this season. He was the 5-star recruit, and his name, of course, you saw it a bunch in the FBI investigation. Now, he has finished out his classes, by the way. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see
what here academically. How about Adele for 3? Spalding is already jammed in a couple one-handed slams and couldn't get it there. There's a foul, though.
Yeah, Don Daly with the call. I'm not sure I saw that one. I think Coster did a good job of boxing him out. Let's see what happens here. I don't see anything there, right?
Not much.
Great officiating crew with Jamie Lucky, Don Daly, and Pat Adams.
Number 5, Malik Williams, replaces number 14 on this.
And we have the head of the officials at the table here, Brian Kersey of the ACC. I was kidding him at halftime. Jamie was over here. I put Jamie Lucky B+ only first half. I've become good friends with Jamie, both Charlotte guys.
There's a whistle. There was a turnover in the backcourt. And then a Bryant player, I believe that was Naduba. He grabbed Williams after the turnover. Jamie has 14 minutes left to get that up to at least an A-.
He's one of the best officials in America. I thought Pat Adams was a double technical, or no? Did I miss it?
Just a personal foul, the second
foul
on Naduba. Well, and credit that trio, Lucky, Daly, and Adams, separated those players quickly. Hey, Bryant is coming in with just one win. I mean, they're going to play physical here.
And without their best player.
Adam Grant scores 16 a game. This is the second game he has missed consecutively. Tang Adele, he throws out the wings after hitting the three.
Well,
this is now a 29-point game.
What they need more out of Adele is we know he can score on offense. He has to do it on the defensive end consistently. Sometimes he'll take possessions off defensively. Boy, if he's locked in, Louisville's really good on the defensive end of the floor. Tough shot.
Naduba hits it.
Take that. Boy, that was a tough look going right to left.
A lot of ground to make up for Bryant, and not much time. All right, Spalding from the corner. Goes out of bounds and stays here. Deng Adele, the junior.
Wow, this kid's really special. I think he's their most talented player, and he is a next-level player. That guy has a future in the NBA. The little step-back dribble, which created space for Naduba. I'm impressed with him as well, the point guard.
Just a sophomore for Tim O'Shea, too.
Yeah, playing a ton of minutes in this game because they need him, too.
Bryant from Smithfield, Rhode Island, where the institution sits. It's not far from Providence. Now the enrollment is actually larger than the Chase Athletic Center can hold fans. It's the home of Bryant Bulldogs basketball.
Now, David Padgett wants his guys continuing to play hard. Like, the scoreboard doesn't dictate our effort.
Naduba lost it. There goes King. There's a defensive effort.
Yeah, pretty good. Deflection, size. V.J. King, the first McDonald's All-American in 6 years at the University of Louisville. Kid won 2 gold medals for USA Basketball. The under-16s in Uruguay. 2014, the under-17s.
Here's Adele taking off. Oh. Took off just a little too far away, but previously, King timed this one up nicely.
Well, it starts with your defense. This kid is long, athletic. Man, he could finish.
Zales game track. Anas Mahmoud, Quentin Snyder. That is in another stratosphere right now. 14 of 17 combined from the field, Dino.
And I love what David Padgett did. Adele missed the dunk. And from a coaching perspective, Kevin, you're up 73-45. But he was upset because Adele goes in there and misses the dunk. And from a coaching perspective, never accept in victory what you wouldn't accept in defeat. And otherwise, hey, because we have this lead, it's okay if we miss a dunk, or it's okay if we don't defend like we need to. And Trent Johnson as well.
He's got sitting next to him.
Pretty good coach right there, Trent Johnson.
Trent Johnson was out in Reno, Nevada. That is where Padgett played his high school ball. He had his eye on Padgett coming out of high school. Eventually went to Kansas, later transferred to Louisville. This is McHugh. Can't understate how difficult of a process that is for Padgett to fill an assistant coaching staff. Literally weeks, that's it, before a season starts.
Well, like we said, the first 10 days, 2 weeks, he was at practice by himself with the head manager helping him out. He didn't even have a staff. And you're seeing, yes, you see David Padgett on the left, Trent Johnson, Greg Paulus, a terrific group that he put together. Trent, tons of experience. Greg Paulus, his latest position with Ohio State at Thad Matta. We're seeing Bryant run the flex offense, that baseline cut, and then followed by a down screen.
It's Ryan Layman. Haven't seen too much of the freshman from Massachusetts.
Brother was a pretty good player at Maryland, and now with the Portland Trail Blazers.
In the corner for Dwayne Sutton.
Well, Sutton, we see him shoot the 3. Sometimes when they go small ball, he'll play the 4 or even the 5.
He's the transfer from UNC Asheville. Tanner Johnson. He's one of the local products. Grew up in Lexington. Oh, Sutton's open again. Back-to-back threes. Louisville can't miss.
6 for 9 from behind the three-point line in the second half, Kevin. And Dwayne Sutton, this is a guy that transferred in here. You mentioned it, UNC Asheville. MVP of the Big South Conference Tournament Championship game. Kid had 25 and 18. This kid right here knocking down threes. Nice one more from Ryan McMahon. And then, boy, he gets his feet set, does his work early. In other words, hand preparation, foot preparation before the ball even gets to him.
Those were his first 2 threes. He knocks them both down.
Yeah, you love his how diverse he is on defense as well, if I can talk.
There's Naduba again.
Because Sutton can guard a 5-man, and we saw out here he was guarding a point guard.
He's only 6'5", but he plays so much bigger than that.
He really does.
Now, he was 6'5" and was playing the 5 at UNC Asheville.
Boy,
Out and out.
That went halfway down.
He's about 2.5 for 3 from beyond the arc. And there's a whistle. Malik Williams went flying to tee off, but a foul before his rejection, and it goes against Perry. Naduba heads to the line. So for Bryant, on the road against Georgia, NC State, Rutgers, Memphis just a couple days ago, Louisville, we go on and on. For Tim O'Shea, he was talking to you about this beforehand. He's now in his 10th season as the head coach at Bryant. Just the opportunity for these guys to get in an arena like this, like the KFC Yum Center, and to compete.
And they have done that. They have done that. But when you're at a school like Bryant, you got to be careful. You can't play too many of those bye games. I think they've played 4 or 5. They just kill you. Tough to come on the road and win and beat a Louisville team at the Yum Center. And that's just the way it's been.
Perry misses, but underneath to clean up the boards, that's Lance Thomas.
Yeah, Ryan Lehman, he's going to be a terrific player, the freshman out of Massachusetts. Just has to be a little more assertive, a little tougher on that rebound. That was his rebound. Grab that thing with 2 hands.
Boy, Naduba has lived in that paint. He's fearless attacking the rim, the Boston native. Technical foul is whistled. Now, Naduba, it's the technical. It's his 3rd foul today. And we had seen him getting frustrated a couple times at earlier points in the second half. And Tim O'Shea with a quick word.
I love his game, but he's been carrying these Louisville defenders in his back pocket the whole night. But I would always tell guys this, Kevin, retaliatory fouls camouflage immaturity. So you can't retaliate. That doesn't show your toughness. It hurts you and it hurts your team.
Still been a nice jump for him production-wise on the floor. One of the best passers in the NEC. 5.5 assists per game.
Well, he's a guy that Tim O'Shea can build around. Comes in shooting 35% from behind the three-point line, 78 at the free throw line, and runs his team. And you look at the jump, and that's when guys make the biggest jump from their freshman to sophomore year. He has done that.
You have to recognize, don't look at this 1-9 record. Mind you, Mount St. Mary's, the tournament winner of the NEC a season ago. They started the year at 1-11. Tough opponents that both of those teams have faced. Look at the intensity on the other side of the floor for Louisville, but another technical has been assessed. And it's Lance Thomas. Yep, and David Padgett says, come on.
Yeah, now's when he earns his money. You know what I mean? He got to make sure that, hey, coaching is all about credibility. You have to have credibility with your administration. You have to have credibility with your fan base. That's a great call for the technical. And most importantly, you need credibility with your players.
David Padgett is just 32 years old.
We were talking today and at the shoot-around, and I said, you know, when I was coaching, on the end table by the bed, I had a 5x7 card and an ink pen, and I'd get up and write notes to myself. He goes, yeah, Coach, I'm doing that now. I go, but you know what? For me, David, when I woke up in the morning, it made no sense. At 3 a.m., that was really important. At 8 a.m., it wasn't.
I think Coach Padgett has a little better handwriting than you also.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Now this Louisville effort shooting 56% from the field. Bryant defensively was very tough with that zone in the first half. Louisville just started knocking down shots, 9 triples.
And second shots. When they missed, they got other opportunities.
Off the steal. Coster, that shot stripped away. Wara loses it. Bryant basketball. Louisville up big, a 36-point advantage.
A lot of activity, not a lot of productivity that last couple of possessions.
He brings the basketball shuffle presented by Shooter.
Inside the KFC Yum Center, a 36-point advantage for the Cardinals, looking to get to 7-2 on the season. With Dino Gaudio, Kevin Fitzgerald. So we're learning a lot about Louisville today. This team is shooting the ball well. Learned a lot about the ACC conference in general.
You know what, Kevin? It's the best conference in America. I don't care what measuring stick you use. If you go historic, where 17 overall national champions, no other conference has that. In the last 17 years, 8 national champions out of the ACC. And then, okay, let's go contemporary. 47 NCAA tournament wins the last 3 years, 19 more than any other league, and you could go National Players of the Year, you could go NBA first-round picks. It doesn't matter, year in and year out. The ACC is the best conference in the country.
Well, and now 3 ACC teams in the top 10.
Top 7, I think.
Yeah, top 7. There you go. North Carolina, Miami, and Duke. Okay, Duke, yes, the loss to Boston College, but you still think that this is, regardless of that, that is still the best team in the country.
Listen, for all the fans out there, all of them, good teams lose. Don't lose your minds. That's the way it is in college basketball, and it's been since Coach Knight's Indiana team went undefeated. Good teams lose. So just got to pick up the pieces and move forward.
Wara going in. Carroll got a piece of that, but the rebound back down to Malik Williams. And we're going to find out a good chunk more about this ACC conference this upcoming weekend. You know, Louisville is going to play Memphis. A team like Virginia Tech is going to take on Kentucky. There are some really good out-of-conference matchups for the ACC this Saturday. There's Riley with the basketball off the miss. How about Gus Riley? He's a biology major, a 3.7 GPA. Shot blocked, another one. Louisville continues to swat the basketball. And there's a whistle on the other end of the floor. Now 6 blocks this evening for the Cardinals.
Yeah, they have such tremendous length. Carroll is a terrific athlete, but you know what? He just was off balance right there. Play off 2 feet. You're a little bit stronger. You have better balance.
This has been a rough day for Louisville. Blocking shots. Their season average is 8. They only have 6.
Hey, we got 5.5 to play yet.
Some teams would dream about blocking 6 shots a game. It's all about the length.
But I think when Brian gets in conference, they could do some damage in that league. They've had a tremendously difficult schedule. That's a good call.
Yep, loose ball foul that goes against Riley.
Yeah, Gus Riley just pushed off with 2 hands.
Bryant has a terrific new indoor practice facility, the Conity Indoor Practice Facility. It's I would say without question, maybe the best facility in that conference, in the Northeast Conference. Maybe
practice facility, yes.
In the entire New England area, too.
Okay, Tim O'Shea came in from Ohio University, where he took him to the NCAA tournament. His last year there at 07-08, he was 20-13. Took him to the NCAA tournament in 05. I mean, while at Ohio, beat Maryland, beat UNC, beat Butler twice. And then he's taken Bryant in from Division II to Division I. He's done a really nice job at this school.
It's been a decade now for Bryant at the Division I level. That is a Louisville foul. That'll push the shot clock back to 20. And you coached against this man when he was at Boston College.
He was. He was his assistant for Al Skinner. And, man, those BC teams, they had some tough dudes. Smith and Dudley. Whew. They had some tough guys.
McHugh, rebound Riley. Watch out for Sebastian Towns in the NEC this year. He kicks out to McHugh. Whistle, and free throws coming.
Taylor McHugh's a guy who could play both guard positions. He really looks to score the ball when he's in the lefty. 2 big threes against Albany. Key guy for Tim O'Shea at Bryant.
So Taylor McHugh and the Bulldogs, they're headed to the FedEx Forum a couple days ago, about to play Memphis. What bus pulls in at the same time? Doors open up. Billy Donovan steps off. Steven Adams, Russ Westbrook, the Oklahoma City Thunder are in town. McHugh is a huge Thunder fan, a huge Russ Westbrook fan.
That's
so we got
awesome.
a shout out with Russ walking by and entering the facility at the same time. He's got the video to show it to his friends.
You talk about an aggressive guard, Russell Westbrook. When I talk to my point guards in the league, Chris Paul and Jeff Teague and Ish Smith, they're like, every night in that league, man, there are some talented point guards. All of them say Westbrook's about the toughest to handle because he's just so aggressive.
Lance Thomas, tough to handle tonight. 9 points. That is a new career high.
Hands up.
Up, no, and there's the rebound for Thomas. He's the freshman from Norcross, Georgia, with some valuable minutes for David Padgett's team as they are up big late in the second half. The foul, though, goes against Towns.
Kevin,
David Padgett.
Kevin, from what I've seen, whatever we are, a month and a few days into the season.
What you got?
I think Michigan State's the best team in the country. I know they lost to Duke, but Michigan State's a man-to-man team. So all preseason, they're practicing against man-to-man. And Coach Izzo's a smart guy. Probably a couple days, hey, we're going to go zone. And all of a sudden they play Duke. 40 minutes of zone defense. Villanova really good. I know Michigan State's sitting at number 2. I just like their depth. I like their talent. I like how hard they play and their toughness. I think that's the best team in America when it's all said and done.
It seems impossible, but it almost feels like we still aren't talking enough about Miles Bridges.
Exactly. The young guy comes back, and they have so many guys on that team. I think they have 5 guys averaging in double figures.
Miles Bridges is maybe the best player in the country. He might be the second best player on his team. That's how good that team is. This is Layman.
What a nice shot he has.
Oh, nice to see a Layman stay in New England.
Exactly.
His brother went to Maryland. But the ball movement here. Wara. Williams is so strong inside, and a whistle. Louisville up big. 93-51. The Cardinals pushing all the right buttons, trying to get to 7-2 tonight.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dr. Scholl's Massaging Gel Insole and Pizza Hut, the best pizza delivery deal. Order today with a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99.
addition to the Providence Philharmonic sometime soon. That is Dren Dedushai, who is sitting out this year. And Tim O'Shea, all of a sudden he walked down to the lobby of the hotel yesterday. There's his big man just hopped out of the piano.
How good is that at 7'1"? To play the piano like that. It just outstanding. And then redshirting this year, a 7-foot guy in the Northeast Conference, a bright future. I saw him shooting at the shooter-up. Nice stroke, nice touch around the rim, and obviously good hands playing the piano like that. That was beautiful.
He was kind of teasing us with this one. He said, well, that was the first time I've played in like 4 years, too.
Talented. From Brooklyn, New York, originally from Albany, Brooklyn, New York, played at the Wichenden School, played basketball there, and he's going to be a nice addition at 7', 7'1" for Bryant moving forward.
When he was growing up in school, he wanted to play the guitar. His mom said, no, you're going with the piano. So you usually listen to mom on that one. This is Tanner Johnson. He's playing in front of some friends and family. He's from Lexington, and the follow is good for Bryant. Monty Ermolovichis, the redshirt freshman from Lithuania.
Another big off the bench for this Bryant basketball team.
Now out there for Louisville now. You've got Jacob Redding, Joe Griffin. How about the runs that Louisville went on today? They had a 20-5 run, a 22-6 run at one point. The three ball for Jacob Redding, the freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hey, if you're from Indiana, I don't care how big you are, you can shoot. That's just the way it is if you grew up in that state. It's great to see the walk-ons come in and get some minutes because those guys invest so much into the program. Our walk-ons would come earlier before everybody else, Kevin, so the coaches could show them the scout team stuff.
That was the 7th block, by the way, Dino, for Louisville. And Bryant eventually gets the basket. Oh, we saw it about an hour before Louisville's shoot-around today. You had a handful of players like VJ King, who's in there working with the walk-ons, working with the managers.
How about at Louisville? Each of the players is assigned a manager. And a couple of them might be one manager that has 2 players. But when a guy wants to come in and shoot, he calls his manager, and the manager comes in and gets shots up with him. Those are other guys that are unsung heroes on these basketball teams, the managers.
Say something about those managers. How about this Louisville managers basketball team went to 5-0 a couple days ago against Indiana. That's 2 wins.
They like the ball, too.
The varsity team wins, the managers with the victory. I'm not kidding. So the real ringer of the team his name is Grant Williams. Well, not Tennessee's Grant Williams, but the best player on the Louisville manager team is Grant Williams. Not from Knoxville. Redding was going in for another basket, and he's got free throws coming. Well, tonight on ESPN, after the Monday Night Football game finishes up, you've got Scott Van Pelt. Sports Center at night. Complete wrap-up of that game. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. You'll hear from those two. New England facing Miami on the road. Aaron Boone, the new manager of the Yankees, will comment on his new slugger. How about Giancarlo Stanton to New York? Plenty more. That's Sports Center at night with Scott Van Pelt on ESPN and the ESPN app. Louisville has just hit triple digits. They did it last in January of the prior season. Now back into triple digits.
Boy, got away with a double dribble right there.
Williams underneath, 102 and counting.
Boy, tough playing up and down with this Louisville team. They're so athletic. A lot of guys with bounce on the floor.
Is there a team in the ACC that could do it?
All of them. All of them.
Johnson, no.
There you go.
Rebound to Lehman.
Kevin, when I was coaching in the ACC, I would tell the assistants, fellas, the team with the most future pros usually wins this league. We got to recruit some good guys because everybody else has them.
61-2 in Louisville's last 63 non-conference home games. And David Padgett and the Cardinals now 7-2 with a thrashing of Bryant inside the KFC Yum Center. Coming up next for Louisville, they're headed to Madison Square Garden in New York, taking on Memphis. That game Saturday at noon on ESPN2. You were talking about this one at halftime. That's a great one for both Louisville and Memphis.
It really is. You got Jeremiah Martin, who's getting 18 a game for Memphis. 2 6'8" guys, Davenport and Rivers. And Memphis, those guys are juniors and seniors, veteran guys. The only thing Memphis has to decide, do they want to play up and down like with this Louisville team? I don't think that bodes well for them. So Tubby Smith, control the tempo against this Louisville team because when they're out in transition, they're really, really good.
You know, 5 scores, double figures for Louisville again. Keeps happening.
There's so many possessions and they share the ball so well.
17 points for Quentin Snyder, Anas Mahmoud, and then Deng Adel. Louisville 7-2. We'll talk to you soon. For Dino Gaudio, our excellent crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long. Thanks for joining us in Louisville tonight. A big one, 102 points for the Cardinals. They're now 7-2. Good night from the KFC Yum Center.